Hello everyone, A is for Awesome here, and welcome to Cheap Games. Today we're taking a look at Beep, also known as Indie 2D Platformer number 962. Like all the games here on Cheap Games, Beep can be picked up for less than $1 if you catch it on sale. And unless you worship the indie platformer like the best thing to ever happen to gaming, I wouldn't pick it up unless it was on sale, and even then, only if you really like the genre. Beep is kind of set up like Mario, where the main goal is to find 3 things of antimatter hidden throughout the level, usually locked behind a puzzle or a platforming course. Unlike Mario, however, Beep doesn't even have a hint of a story. You get a couple bits of text at the beginning, a few pictures, and that's about it for the entire game. The thing that makes Beep different, trademark, from other indie platformers is the use of the anti-gravity beam, which allows you to manipulate some of the objects in the world to either build a way to get to a higher ledge, kill enemies in an extremely satisfying way, or complete puzzles to get access to the antimatter pellets. Combat is one of the weakest points of the game. You get a gun with infinite ammo, but it needs to be reloaded for some reason. To reload, you have to right-click the character model or press R if you try that. It doesn't actually tell you that you can do that. When you move your crosshair over an enemy, it locks to the target. For enemies with no weak spots, this makes combat incredibly easy. For enemies that require you to hit certain areas, this makes combat extremely frustrating, as the lock-on point is center of mass and not the spot you need to actually hit them. Death in Beep is almost meaningless. You have infinite lives and checkpoints spread throughout the level. If you collect an antimatter pellet, then die before reaching one of the checkpoints, the antimatter still counts as collected. This also counts for all the little points pellets that are everywhere and useless to collect because there's no achievements or really any form of score that actually matters. Death, however, resets all objects and enemies, which means more of the combat. Yay! The actual jumping mechanics of Beep are nice and simple, but are extremely forgiving. Almost vertical walls are climbable, and you can hang over ledges. This makes manipulating objects on lower levels easy, but also makes the platforming, the most important aspect of a 2D platformer, some of the easiest out there. Levels become longer and longer as the game progresses, and it becomes more frustrating and boring as a result. Beep, however, does a good job at keeping new content coming, as every 2 or so levels introduces a new mechanic, only for said mechanic to disappear a couple levels later to be replaced by something different. The art style of Beep, as well as the lack of challenge in the game, just smacks you in the face as a children's game. The kind of thing you'd let a couple elementary schoolers play during free time on the class PC. Now on to score. For a cheap game, Beep gets a 1 out of 5 on story, 3 out of 5 on platforming, 3 out of 5 on combat, and a 5 out of 5 on soundtrack, which is pretty darn good when it actually plays. This comes to a final score of 3.5 stars. If you have a shrine to fill fish in your closet, or you're just looking for something for your 10-year-old, this game might actually be for you.